Welcome my students, wherever you are. My name is Teacher David. Allow me take you through this paper as you prepare for your exam this year. So this is the first question. When asked to find 7/8 of a certain number, Juma found by mistake 7/8 of that number. Hence, the answer was too large by 1/5. Find the number. So to avoid wasting time, I have done, so we will just be looking at the answer directly and explain the answer. So let the number be x. If we let the number to be x, then when asked you to find 7 of a number, so 7/18 of that number x, and Juma found that by mistake it is 7/8 of the number, so 7/8 of x, that is this number and this number. Now when they subtracted, now the difference between the two numbers is 105. Now from here you need to solve for the value of x. This is 8, the LCM is 72. Multiply both sides by 72. Multiply every term with 72 times 72 times 72 times 72, and this one cancels here 9 times, this one cancels here 4 times, and then this times this, you get 63 minus 28x, and the answers will be this. So 63x minus this, the answer is 35x. You divide by 35 both sides, and you get the number was 216. Without using a calculator or mathematical table, express this in third form. Now you see we have cos 30. You need to draw the equilateral triangle. In fact, not yet the equilateral triangle, then be able to get the ratios, the trigonometric ratios. So you should be able to draw this triangle. This is what will give you. Here is 2, here is 2, and here is 2. Then you divide the triangle, because equilateral triangle, the answer here is 60, here is 60 degrees, and here is 60, therefore 30, right? So if here is 2 and here is 1, you divide it by 2. Now you have this right angle triangle, which will give you the trigonometric ratios that you need. This is 60 and this one is 30. So what we don't have is this one. You use Pythagoras theorem to get that this one is √3. Now when you are here, you use SOHCAHTOA. You use what? SOHCAHTOA. Now we are talking about cos. So cos theta or cos 30. Let's now use to cos 30, the one we have. Cos 30 is equal to, we use this one for, C stands for cos, this stands for sine, and T stands for tan. So cos is equal to adjacent. For this one, adjacent is √3 over hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is 2. So you find that cos 30 is equal to √3 over the root of 2, like that. Now that one you substitute it here. Once you've done that, you come and do here. So we have that cos 30 is this one. Now instead of this, you substitute it with this. Then now you rationalize that. You do the rationalization. You can see this is these are sides, right? So when we have √3 over 1 minus √3 over 2, you rationalize. The conjugate of this one is +3. So you multiply the numerator and the denominator with the conjugate of this side, right? Once you do that, you find that the numerator will be √3 times this is √3. √3 times √3 over 2, the answer is going to be √9 over 2, which is this. Denominator we use, for the denominator it is simple. We use a square minus b square. That is a perfect a difference of two squares. So the first one is 1. So you say 1 square minus the second one is √3 over 2, you put a square there. So 1 square is 1, then the square root of the square of square root of 3 is 3. The square of 2 is 4. So it is 1 minus 3 over 4. And 1 minus 3 over 4 is a quarter. So the denominator is a quarter. Now we have this numerator divided by the denominator, and you use the what you run in fractions. So if you have 2 over 3 divided by 1 over 4, how do you do it? It is 2 over 3 times 4 over 1. You know that? Now that's what we have done here. So this one divided by 1 over 4 is the same as this numerator times 4 over 1, the reciprocal of that, and it gives you the answer as that. Next question. Remember to share this video to as many students as possible, like and also comment. A dam containing 400 liters of water to be drained. A pump is connected to a pipe of radius 3.5 centimeter, and the machine operator for 8 hours per day. Water flows through the pipe at the rate of 1.5 meters per second. Find the number of days it takes to drain the dam for max. So first you need to know that the pump, remember it has a cross section, because the water is coming out of this pump. You need to get the area of this cross section first. You need to get this area of this one. So let me take you direct to the answer. So for the pipe, it has the radius now, because we have been given in meters cube. Now let us convert centimeters cube. You need to be very careful, because this is centimeters and this is meters. So convert this one into meters cube. So radius of the pipe is going to be this one, meters. So how do you convert that one? You divide by 100, because 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter. So after that, we have this as the radius. Then now we need to get the area of the cross section of the pipe, right? And you know the pipe is a circle. It forms a circle because a pipe is like this. So this one is a circle and it has a radius. Therefore, how do you get the area of a circle? Pi r square. So this one gives us pi r square. So it is 22 over 7 times the radius, and that one gives us 0.00385 meters square. Now from here we need to get the volume drained per second. And the volume drained per second is gotten by the area of the cross section of the pipe times the rate, and the rate is 1 meter per square. 1.5 meter per square. You see that? That is the rate. Now we multiply this one, and it gives us that in every second this amount of water is going to get out of the dam. This amount of water is going to get out of the dam in every second. So if 1 second it takes out this amount of water, what about the volume we were given? 4153 meters cube will contain how many hours or seconds? So you realize that it will give us 720,000 seconds. Now convert this one into hours. You know that 1 hour is equal to 3,600 seconds. Now that one gives us 200 hours. So now if per day it takes 8 hours, what about 200? How many days will it contain? It will contain 25 days. Very good. So I told you we want to save more time. That's why I have already done the paper, and I will just do explanation. The point with coordinate 5.5, this one are the ends of the diameter of a circle. So this is a circle, and we have the diameter. Call this one A and call this one B, and this one is 5.5. This is -3 for 1. Determine the coordinate of the center which they have given A. Okay, coordinate A, maybe I could have used something else here, even CB. So we want to get it. How do you get the midpoint? Remember the rule is x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. That gives you the the median, or the not the median, but the midpoint. That's how we get the midpoint. So our midpoint will be 5 minus 5. This is x. Remember, I realize that some people do not know. Let me be slow here. So 5 comma 5, then negative 3 comma 1. So if you are given the points 5, 5, the first one is x coordinate, the second one is y. The first here is x, the second one is y. So you should be aware. So we add x1 plus x2 divided by 2, then y1 plus y2 divided by 2. That gives us a as this coordinate here. Then the second thing is asked to find the equation of the circle in this form. Remember, the equation of the circle is in the form of x minus a square plus y minus b square is equal to r square, where a and b are the center and r is the radius. So we need to get the radius first because we have the center. Now this one, this point we have gotten here, this is the center. This gives us the center a and b. This is the center because it is at the middle. See ni radius, kwa hivyo hii ni diameter tumepata hapa katikati, kwa hivyo inapeana the center. Now how do you get the radius? The formula for getting the radius is equal to, you take one coordinate, like you can take this one or this one of these. So you use the x coordinate of that, point you have taken, like this one, then minus the center x coordinate, which is a, plus y coordinate of the same point, like I have chosen 5, 5, then subtract the b, the center, then you get this one. So 5, I have taken this coordinate 5, 5, 5 minus 1, which is the center a, square, that gives you the square, that gives you the radius. So our radius is the square root of 20. Therefore, now you come here, then you write it in the form. You need to know the general formula of writing the equation of a circle. It is x like this. So now you pick the coordinate of the center. Then now the equation is x minus 1, which is this, and y minus 3, which is this. Then is equal to the radius square. Now we have the radius as 20, square root 20. So when you square this one to be square, the square root disappears. That is now r square is equal to 20. So now that's why we have the radius square here like this. Now once you have done that, you need to know how to expand this one. Now you need to expand this one, expand this to be in this form. So if you don't know how to expand, let me show you how to expand. If you have x minus 1 square, this means x, you do like this. You can expand manually like this. So you do this times this, x is square. This times this minus x. This times this minus x. This times this plus 1 or minus plus 1, yes. Now you have the first one as x square minus 2x plus 1. That is the first part. This is the first part. You do the same with the second part. So now after that, now you rearrange them according to these instructions here. Now we will start with x square, y square minus 2x minus this. Then this one here plus 9, it gives you 10 plus 10. Then you rearrange, you bring this 20 from on the right side to the left side, it becomes here inakuwa negative 20. So positive 10 minus 10, the answer is negative 10, and it gives you the final answer. Externally there, calculate the length CD. We want to calculate the length CD. So the one we want to calculate, you give it the letter X. But one thing you know, the formula is that AQ, when you multiply AQ, when you multiply with PQ, must give you CQ times DQ. So when you have this formula, then everything becomes very simple. If it is external, then that is how you need to know. If it is internal, because next time you can be given the internal one. If I have here A, B, CD, and I have M at the center. So AM times MB will be equal to CM times MD. That one is internal, for internal. And the last one, which you must know, because I'm trying to give you all the options that you need. It may not be this one, it can be this one, or it can be this one combined with this one. The last one we have is this one, where we have the tangent and like this. Now this is a tangent, TQ, and then we have AD. Now you need to know that TQ square, so long as it is a tangent, forms a 90 degrees here. This is 90 degrees here. Remember that. If that is the case, then you need to know that TQ square would be equal to AQ times DQ. Now if you have this knowledge, everything becomes very simple. So having known that, from here is 5 and here is 6, therefore AQ is 11. You add, then PQ is 6, so you multiply, it gives you XCD plus 4 times 4 DQ, and it gives you that answer. Making the subject of the formula. Now, making the subject of the formula, the first thing you needed to do here, let us remove the denominator. Remove this denominator. So multiply both sides by the square root of this. That is the square root of b square minus d. Remove it. That is one way. Remove the square root. You multiply this by both sides. Square root of b square plus d. Right? So this and this will cancel out. So we will have a square root b d plus d is equal to bd. Now we need to remove this square root here. You square everything, both sides. So when you square that, so a becomes a square, then times b square plus d, right? Because this one removes this. When you remove the square root, yani when you square, you have a square root of something, then you square it. So this 2 removes this one, and what remains is x. You need to know that. Then we will have here b square, and d square. So from here, you can rearrange as follows. So you do that. Once you remove that, you square. Then now we have this one. Then now like terms together. Because we are making b the subject, bring those terms that contain b. I have brought these terms that contain b together, this side. So you will subtract. Now here, b square is a common factor. So b square, bring it out. So we have a square inside minus d. Then now you need to divide by both sides by the whatever is in the bracket. Now that gives us this here. Since we need b, we have to look for the square root of b, so that we have now b. But that's not the only way. This one can be rearranged as this one. So where does this come from? At this point here, let me start from this point here, where instead of here, let me start from here. Instead of now bringing this one here and bring this one here, what I will do, I will bring this one there. So let me start from there. So a square, b square is okay, I said I want to leave this one there. So you say a square d is equal to b square d square minus, take this to the other side, a square b square. So a square d is equal to b square into d square minus a square. Now you divide this both sides, d square minus a square, d square minus a square. You will see that now the b square is equal to ad. Now when you get the square root, you will actually get this one. You see that? Yes. So b will be the square root of a square d over d square minus a square. So you can do it in two ways, and still you get the answer. Even this answer is correct and this one is correct. So the figure below shows a circle inscribed in an isosceles triangle ABC. BO is 19.5 and BQ is 18.18. So find the radius and hence find the length of the minor arc PQ. The length of the minor arc PQ. So that is very simple. You see this one, it is a tangent at this point, so it forms 90 degrees. Those are the properties you need to know. So this is a right angle triangle like this, whereby here is 18 and here is 19.5. So getting this one is not going to be difficult, and that is the radius, because you can see that is the radius of the circle. So that one is 18 square. Because this is now hypotenuse, it is 19.5 square minus 18 square gives you the r square. So that's how now we get the radius. The radius is obtained in that manner. Now let's talk about how to get now the angle. So using the Pythagoras theorem, given here is 19.5 and here is 18. Now use SOHCAHTOA to get the angle theta. I want to get this angle here theta. So once I get that angle, I will get it to because I need this angle. I need the whole of this angle. But let me just get the theta first. So I will use sine. So sine is equal to opposite. The opposite for this one, remember, let me use this one here. I want this angle here, right? So I will use opposite, that is sine theta is equal to opposite, which is 18, divided by sorry, not adjacent, but hypotenuse, which is 19.5. When you do your calculator, this gives you 60 something. It gives you 64 point something there. Now because we need the answer up to this, you multiply times 2, and that gives you the 34. The angle from here up to here is 134.8 degrees to 1 decimal place. We are told to find the arc length. Arc length, the minor arc length. You can see the minor arc length is this from here. PQ, minor arc length is this one. That's why we multiplied 62.4 times 2, because to get this angle, the whole angle from here up to here. Now after that, now you use the formula for arc length. How do you get arc length? It is theta over 362 pi r, or theta over 360 pi d. Either of them works by d, by d. Either of them they work, so you use it here and you get the answer. The arc length is 17.65 centimeters. Arc length is that. Find the shortest distance between points, this one, in kilometers, along the parallel latitude. Along the parallel latitude. First, identify whether this place here is a small circle or a great circle. Is a small circle or a great circle. You can see this one is a small circle because it is on latitude 50 degrees. Remember, latitudes, it is only the equator which is on the great circle, but the other latitudes, all of them are a small circle. So how do you calculate the distance between 2 points on a small circle? You remember the formula. It is alpha 360 2 pi r cos theta. Cos theta. Cos theta, where theta is the latitude itself. Latitude. So here our theta is equal to 50. So we need to get alpha. How do you get alpha? Is the angle difference. 25 east, 140 east. They are on the same side, therefore it is 140. You subtract 25. Remember, on the same side, east east, you subtract. West west, you subtract. Now west east, you add. Right? Yeah, west. One side is on the west and another one is on the east, you add. One side is on the north, another one is on the south, you add. North north, south south, you subtract. Sawa sawa. Remember that. Another thing I want to explain is to find the shortest distance between 2 points. If there is no this along the parallel latitude, kama statement ya iko, like you see here, the statement was not there, but it was supposed to be there for this one to work. If this one was up to this point, venye iko hivi, wajana na hii niliongeza hapa, which was supposed to be there for this one to be this one, then it means to find the shortest distance between 2 points, the shortest distance between 2 points on the group are found along the great circle, on the great circle. So if you are given simply like that, then you must calculate this one along the great circle. But whenever this point is added along the parallel of latitude, whether they are talking about the shortest distance and they have communicated it is a parallel, this one, then it is a small circle. Sawa, it is a small circle. Now you get the angle difference, that is alpha, and then you use the formula, and you get the answer in kilometers, because the question wanted the answer to be in kilometers. If it is in nautical miles, you simply have the alpha times 60 cos 50 in nautical miles, in nautical miles. Without using a mathematical table calculator, evaluate this one. So you need to evaluate this, but you need to understand what is this. This is simply 6 log 2 64 raised to power third, because the cube root is the same as the third, plus log plus 10 log 243 raised to power 1 over 5, because this 5 here means this one. It's because when you have the square root, which is 2 here, it means a half. If you have a number raised to power 1 over 6, it means the 60th root of that number. It means the 60th root of that 268. You need to, these are the things you need to know. So once you have done this, this is the power, take it this side. So we will have 1 over 3 times 6 log 2, remaining with this 64. 64 you can write it to base 2, which is 2 raised to power 6, plus this one is 5, you bring it here, we have 1 over 5 times 10 log 243 to base 3. Remember there was base 3 here. That one will be 3 raised to power 6. I think I'm not wrong there. Raised to power 243 is 3 raised to power 5, not 6. Raised to power 5. Now once you have that, this one cancels here. We have 2 log 2. Then now we have 6. This is another power which will come here. So we will have 12 log 2 base 2, plus this one will cancel with it. This one will have 2 log 3 raised to power 5. This is another power which we need to come here. So we have 12 log 2 plus this is 2, that is 10 log 3. But log of this base is the same, this number is the same, this is the same as 1, and this one is the same as 1. So 1 times 12 it is 12, 1 times 10 it is 10, and that is becomes the answer here. So this one, if you press your calculator log 10, the answer should be 1, because that means log 10 10. Log 10 10, the answer is 1. So if this number and this number are the same, the answer is always 1. So here is 1, 1 times 12, 1 times 10, and that is the final answer. In the figure below, the triangle DCBC meet at the C. This one is 50, and while this one is 70. That one is very important. Now, when you are given such a kind of thing, my dear friend, it is your duty to complete this figure so that you can be able to see what is happening. Once you do this one, and this one are equal. And if that is the case, then if this is 50, this angle, base angles must be equal. That is 180 minus 50, and that one gives us 130. You divide by 2, you get here is 65, and here is 65. Now this here, this angle here is exactly equal to this angle because of angles in the alternate segments are equal, because this is the alternate segment to this one. Therefore, the angle here is 70. Then remember that is the case. Even this angle here is 65, because angles in the alternate segment. So if you have that one now, you can get this one by so many ways. To get this angle, you can add 70 plus 65 minus 1, 80, or add this plus this, and you get the angle here, which is, I think, 45. So that's how, those are the things you need to understand. If the angle here must be 45 also, because angles in the alternate segment must be equal. So I have explained very well, I guess. So if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. Given that this explains the quorum vector, hence show that the 2 points are collinear. Very nice. So you need to show that PQ are parallel to QR first, and they share a certain point. Of course, they are going to share Q if they are parallel, and then if they are collinear, they must be parallel, and they must share a given point. So first we need to get PQ and get QR. How do you get PQ? PQ is equal Q minus P. How do you get QR? QR is R minus Q. That is the most important thing you need to know. Therefore, I will take you back and to do that. So PQ, it is that one, and it is 4, 2. QR, it is R minus Q, and the answer is 8 over this. So you can see we need a constant K. So when you multiply K times 4 over this, it must give us the second one. So we want to express this vector in terms of this one. So our constant is 2. So it means 2PQ is exactly equal to QR. That means they are parallel. When you add this one, it means that the two vectors are parallel. And since they are sharing Q as the common point, then these points are collinear. Because for 2 points to be collinear, they must share a point and they must be parallel. Those are the two conditions which satisfy collinearity. We have been given the matrix, this one, I, identity, then a 2 by 2, determine the value of H and K. You needed to put I, A, it is been given here. Then I, we know it is 1, 0, that's the identity times H, because that is times, then K times A. K times A, we have it here. So construction company employs these artisans and craftsmen. Employs this artisan and craftsmen. Employs 2,200. I think there was employs a construction company employs 200 employees. It was to be at least employees, because now we have artisans and craftsmen in the ratio 1 to 3 every week. An artisan is paid 2.5 times as much as the craftsman. At the end of 3 weeks, the company pays this amount to those employees. Find how much each artisan and each craftsman was paid in 6. So first we need to get the number of craftsmen and the artisan available. So given the ratio, we can use, so let's the pay for the craftsman PY, then that of the artisan will be 5 over 2Y. Where did I get that one? Because it is 2.5, so I just make it improper fraction like that. Then the number of artisan is a quarter, so it is 50, and the number of artisan is 3 over that. So we got that craftsmen are 150 and artisan were 50 only. For 1 week, they are going to be paid. I remember we were told this amount of money is for the whole 18 weeks. This is for the whole 18 weeks. So I divided for 1 week to get the amount paid in 1 week, because this amount of money is for 18 weeks. So in 1 week, let us get each artisan is paid how much. So 50 times their number plus 150 times their number. That gives you this amount. So then we simplified and got that y is equal to 300. It means each craftsman is paid Kenya shillings 300 and each artisan is paid 750 per day. I think that is per day. At the end of 3 weeks, how much artisan is paid? Yeah, working week is 6 days, so per day they are paid like this in a day. So the question needed, find how much each artisan and each of them. Yeah. So for expansion, there's nothing new there. You need to expand to power 4, like I can explain here. See, this is the first term and this is the second term. Always we start the first term, we start with the power given, so it starts with 4, and the second term will be power 0. So I skipped one step here. If I can go now, this is supposed to be 1 raised to power 4 2x raised to power 0. That is the first. Then minus 2. So you realize 1 raised to any number is still 1. That's why I eliminated it from here. So there was no need of repeating, because 1 raised to power 3 2x raised to power 1. That's how it goes. Plus. Now when it is subtraction, 1 minus this, what you need to know, it goes like this. It starts with plus, minus, plus. It starts with plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, like that. It goes in this pattern. Then you continue, plus 1 raised to power 2 2x raised to power 2. So it goes like that. So because 1 raised to any number is 1, that's why I removed it here. So here 2 raised to power 1, 2 raised to power this, and like that. Then now you need to power. This power is for every number which is inside. So 2 square is 4, x square is this. This number 2 raised to power 3 is 8, x raised to power 3 is 3, like that. Then now you have the coefficients. The coefficients are found in page 27 of the mathematical table. Now you put the coefficients, and this is our expansion. Now let's get the value of x, because we are using it to solve this one. So you come here and say that 1 minus 2.2x raised to power 4 will be equal to exactly this. Now you need to solve it for x. Simply say 1, now this one and this one you forget them. 1 minus 2x is equal to 1.02. So bring this on this side and it becomes minus. So negative 2x, 1.0 minus 1. So we will have negative 2 is equal to 0.02, because this one, the answer will be 0.02. You divide by negative 2 both sides, you get that the value of x is negative 0.01. Now to use our expansion to solve it, you substitute where you see the value of x in the expansion and substitute it with our value of x. Now after that, you substitute and you use your calculator, you get this one as the answer. But the instructions were given that 3 significant figures, so you need to ensure it is 3 significant figures. Calculate the percentage error in this one. So we have been given a cone as radius 9 and it is slant height. So we have been given the slant height. We don't have the vertical height. You needed to get the vertical height by using Pythagoras theorem, because it forms a right angle triangle. This is 12, 15, and this is 9, so this one will be 12.0. Then the volume of a cone is given by 1 over 3 pi r square h. That is that one, you know. Then you need to get the maximum volume, the actual volume, and the minimum volume. Once you have all those, now you have absolute error is equal to a half of the maximum minus minimum. So this was the maximum minus minimum divided by 2, gives you this as the absolute error. Now to get the relative error, not the actual relative but the percentage, because relative error is the absolute error over the actual. So up to here it is called absolute relative error, which is 15 absolute over actual. Then now when we multiply with 100, we make it the percentage error. and that one gives us that as the percentage error. Solve this one. You need to let tan to be y, tan x, then substitute here where you see tan x with y, then this is square, it becomes y square minus this. So you solve this for the value of x, so you the value of y, nimezoea x, so y is either -1 or y is either 3. But we said that y is equal to tan x, so you say tan x is equal to 3, so it means x is going to be tan inverse of 3, and it is 71 point that one as the angle. So if that is the case, then to get when y is -1, what we repeat? Tan x. That gives you tan 45, and 45 is below, then this the 180 minus 45, you get 135. Use taxation to do this one. So we have been given taxable income in Kenya pounds per month, per year, per annum. The rate is here. Mr. Onkweba is a manager, a certain company who is entitled to monthly personal relief of this one monthly, and pays this as pay 9,000 per month, and the cooperative shares of this per contribution. Calculate Mr. Onkweba's total deductions per month. Total deductions. Remember, total deduction is pay plus other deductions. So the other deduction is given here. It is 12. He pays shares, which is 12. So you simply add 9,000 plus 12,000, 1,200. It gives you the amount he pays per month. That is the total deductions, pay plus other deductions. The total tax per month. So if he pays pay of 9,000, and we know gross tax is equal to pay minus relief. Remember that. So to get gross tax, it is so gross tax is equal to pay plus relief. So you add the relief, which is 3,000 per month. So this is gross tax per month. Now, for us to do the taxation, from the table you can see it is per year, per annum. And the tax we have here, the gross tax here, it is per month, and it is in Kenya shillings. Those are the things you take into consideration. Now, we have gross tax per year. It's going to be 12,000 times 12, that is making it per year. Then divide by 20, making it in Kenya pounds, because you can see the table is in Kenya pounds. Very nice. If you don't remember those things, this one, don't rush to do this question. If you cannot interpret it like that, you will get 0, and that's bad. Just do it when you have all the understanding of this question. So we have now the first band. We have 45. So we start the first band, 45 times 10 times 10 of 100, and we get 450 pounds. Remember, we are going to get 450 pounds, Kenya pounds. Everything is going to be in Kenya pounds, because the tax we have here is in Kenya pounds, and whatever we are using, the tax band are in Kenya pounds. When you have that knowledge, so we do the second slab here with the second band. It is this one minus this, which gives us that 3,000 pounds, 3,000 pounds, 3,000. So times this one over this gives us. So we continue until we have the last bound over. So to kifika 30 here, we need now to mefika 30, we need to go to the next band. But once we have there, now we need to see what is remaining. Add what you have done. Add the tax or amount you have. This one, you add, you get 3150. So the total we had is 7,200 Kenya pounds. You subtract, you get the remaining is 4050 pounds. Now we don't know the amount of money that was multiplied by 35 over 100 and gave us this. So that's what we are looking for. Remember, this is reverse. So this one times it equals 35, and that finally gives us, when you solve it, it will give us this Kenyan pounds. Now let's get the total taxable income. You add 45, 330, you add all of this, And when you add that, that is 45. 3,000 times 4, therefore, plus this, it gives you this one, 28,071 pounds per annum. Remember, that is per year, because everything here was per year. Now, let us get the taxable income per month and in Kenya shillings. We can now, to convert this one to Kenya shillings, you multiply times 20. Then per month, you divide by 12. Now we have this person gets 46,795 per month in Kenya shillings. Now, basic salary, remember, taxable income is equal to basic salary plus all allowances. Now we have the taxable income. You need to subtract the allowances to get the basic salary, like that. And you are done. Where the challenge is here, to interpolate where to use the Kenya pounds, and that is where the challenge is, and you need to do a lot of practice to overcome the challenge. So we have been asked you to draw the OGIF. Remember, statistics will never miss in paper 2. Even this here, it will not miss. Either you will find the standard deviation or those, or you draw an OGIF, and OGIF is called a cumulative graph. So cumulative frequency graph, OGIF. So you need to know that first you need to get the CF. Here you need to start and get the CF. So see, how do you get the CF? You start with the frequency given. So 1 plus 2, you get 3. This plus this, you get 8. You do like that until 16 plus this, that is 29, like that until you finish, and that is how you draw the graph. So the graph should be cumulative frequency against, you can use the upper class boundaries, or you can use the you start with the lower limit and then upper limit until the end. N can do. So this is the graph which you are supposed to have. You needed to have a graph that no give S-like graph. So you cannot score if you don't have this graph. Then from the graph B above, determine the median mark. Median mark, our total frequency is 50. So the median is found where we have 50 divided by 2, that's the median. That is 50. So you come where we have 25. So 50 divided by 2, 25. So 25 is here. So this is where the median is found. The median is found here. So you draw a dotted line, a straight dotted line using a ruler, and then you read here. So this one was 56. Then the quantile deviation, you get the quantile deviation, you need to have the upper quartile and the lower quantile. Then to what the quantile deviation is Q3, the upper minus the lower quartile divided by 2. So first you need to know, how do you get the upper quartile? So first, our data, our frequency, total frequency is 50. Therefore, 3/4 is our Q3. So which you must 3/4 times 50, and that one gives us 37. So you come here to the total frequency where we have 37. This is 30, 35, 37. Then you draw a dotted line to the curve and come here. You get that Q3 is 68. Q3 is 68. For you, Q1 is a quarter of the total frequency, of the total N over N. Our N is 50, so that one is 12.5. You come here, 12.5 it is here, you come here, you get here. Once you get there, now you have 45. So Q3 minus 46, or 46. So Q3 minus Q1, that's 68, minus 46 divided by 2, you get that the quantile deviation is 11. The pass mark, or if 44 of the students passed the test. So 44% passed. How many students did not pass? So it is 100 minus 44. You get that 56 did not pass. Why? Because they did not reach the pass mark. So where was the pass mark? So it is 56 times over 100. That is the number of students who did not pass. You get 50, that gives you the 28. So 28, that one you come here, you look for 28. 28 is here, you come down, you find the pass mark was 58. Kwa hivyo the pass mark ilikuwa 58. So number 19, the tank has two taps, P, Q, and R. When empty, the tank is filled by tap P alone in 5 hours, or by tap Q in 3 hours. When full, the tank can be emptied in 8 hours by tap R. So take the initial, the tank is initially empty. Find how long it would take to fill up the tank. Remember, those that are taking, you subtract. If the tap which is taking water out of it, you subtract. The one which is entering the water, you add them. If tap R is crossed, tap R, which is the one which is removing water, is crossed, tap P, tap Q. So in 1 hour, this is tap P and this is tap Q. They are putting water inside. So in 1 hour, they will put 8/15. So we will ask, in 1 hour, what about 15/15? 1 is the same as 15/15. Itakuwa how much? So in both these two will put their water in 1 hour and 52 minutes. If the 3 taps, so if the 3 taps are opened, Q, P and Q will be entering, putting water inside, and R will be removing. So this one will be removing water. So in 1 hour, they will put water 49/120. That is the fraction. So we will ask 120/120 will be how long. So this is the time it will take. Assume that the tank is initially empty and the 3 taps are opened as follows. P was opened at 8, Q at 9, and R at 9. So if P was opened at 9 and it filled up, the tank filled at 10 a.m., P in 1 hour it fills 1/5. So 8 to 10 it is 2 hours. So in 2 hours it will take a fraction of 2/5. Q from 9 to 10 it is 1 hour. So it will put inside 1 hour, 1/3. R in 1 hour it will take out 1/8. So now to get in these 2 hours, they will put inside the water which will be in the cube, the will be 2/5 plus 1/3 minus 1/8. And this is the amount of the fraction of water which will be in water by 10 a.m. A bag contains blue, green, red pens of the same type in the ratio of this one. A pen is picked at random without replacement and its color noted. Determine the probability that the first pen picked is blue, either green or red. That one is simple. You just take the fraction of the total. That is this, the total fraction is 15. So blue will be 8/15, green will be 2/15, red will be 5/15. So blue, it is simply 8/15. Either green or red, you simply add 2/15 of plus 5/15, and the answer is 7/15. 2 pens are picked at random. Using a tree diagram, determine the probability that the first 2 pens picked are green. So this is the tree diagram. So you write B, blue, green, red. The first, it is 8/15, like that. Now the second pick, this is the first pick, this is the first pen, this is the second pen picked, right? Now, because it is without replacement, once they pick, then the denominator should be 14. If blue is picked, the total will remain 14, 7 out of 14. When he picks blue, he will not pick green, so the green will remain 2/14. If he picks blue, he will not pick red, so this one will remain 5/14, the total, right? Now when green is picked here, they were 2, 1, they will pick 1/14. But once he picks green, he will not pick blue at the same time, so it will remain 8, the original, over 14. R will be, if he picks green, he will not pick this one, so R will remain 5/14. Now when R is picked here, when R is picked out of 5, they will remain 4, and the total from 15 will be 14. Once he picks red, he will not pick green, so green will remain 2 over the total 14, and B will remain that one. So this is the space. So probability first picked is green, it is probability green, and that is green, 2/15 times 1/14, and gives you that. The first pen picked is red. The first pen, the first one. So the first one is red is where? The first one is red here, the one is red, and this one is red. So we go down there. So it is the probability red blue, red green, or red red. And that one gives us 1/3. The first 3 consecutive terms of a geometric progression are this one respectively. Calculate the value of x. The value of x. Geometric. Remember, geometric is the common ratio. So it means the 81 you divide by 9x will be equal to 9x you divide by 3 to x plus 1. So you can make this one to base 3 in all of them. You can make this one to base 3 to do it and solve it easily. So A, the first term is this one, the second term and the third term. So A over R, so common ratio is going to be this one like that. So 9, it is simply 9 raised to power 3. This one is this, and 81 is 3 raised to power 4. This one is 3 raised to power 2x. So you can now solve this one. 3 raised to power 4 divided by 3, so the answer is going to be, x is going to be this one. Three raised to power 4 is equal to this one. The bases are the same. You can ignore the bases and solve the power, because this one you use indices, from indices. So 4 minus 2x, now we deal with the bases. You get that the x is 2.5. Find the value of x, yes. Find the common ratio. The common ratio, you simply substitute the value of x here and get the common ratio as 1/3. Calculate the sum of the first 10 terms. Now we have A as 729, R as 1/3. So where do we get A from? A is here. A is 3, 2 times 2, that is raised to power. This is 5 to power 6. A is 3 raised to power 6. Where did I get 3 power 6? That is 2x. 2x, it is 2.5 times 2 plus 1, which is 5 plus 1, which is 6. So the first term is 3 raised to power 6. And then now you use the formula and you get your answer. Since our radius is less, our common ratio is less than 1, we use this formula. If it was greater than 1, we could have said A into R minus 1 raised to power n over R minus 1. But now, because our ratio, common ratio is less than 1, this is the correct formula. Given that the 5th and the 7th terms of the GP forms the first 2 consecutive terms of the arithmetic sequence, calculate the sum of the first 20. That is nice. So we can get this So it means in the arithmetic, the arithmetic sequence a plus ad, this one will be 9 and this one will be 1. So the common difference is the second minus the first, which is -8. Now we have a, which is 9. We have common difference, which is this one. Now getting the sum of 20, it is very simple, as you can see. So this is construction locus. This was supposed to be 75 degrees. So you needed to draw 75 degrees without using a protractor. So we need to see all of these marks. We need to see. So what we mark is the construction itself. The figure below shows a cuboid. Calculate the length BE, 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 BE. So you need to draw this line. It is your duty to draw this in so that you can see triangle EDB. So how do you get B? You cannot get BE if you don't have DB. So first thing you need to get is DB. Because we have 8, and they form right angle triangle here, a right angle triangle here, a right angle triangle, therefore we can get this one. So BD, it is 8 square plus 6 square, and that one BD is equal to 10. So from here up to here is 10. And if that is the case, now we will have now the triangle EBD, and we are looking for this one. So since we have the height ED 5 centimeters, BD 10, now we can get ED using Pythagoras theorem, and that is how we get that. The angle between BE and the plane ABCD. So the base, the plane base, and this triangle. It is simply this angle here. It is this angle we want, this angle here. So we simply calculate this angle using tan. It is opposite over adjacent, and you are done. The angle between FH and BC, FH. So the angle between FH, you see this FH, it is this one. This is the same as AC. This is the same as AC. So FH and AC are the same. So you calculate the angle between AC and this plane. And which angle is that? Now you extract this one. It is AC and this one. So this is the thing you need to calculate. You need to calculate this angle here. This angle, this one, this one, this one here. And that is the angle you calculate here. This angle gives us that one. The angle between AGCD and the plane ABCD. Now look at the plane AGHD. AGHD. It is your duty to draw them so that you can see that. Now you can see, you draw this one. You draw this one so that you can be able to see like that. You see? Now you can see this one is this. You need to calculate simply this angle here, or this angle here, or this one. That one you are done, because this one is the base and this one is that other plane. You see that? Now you get this angle here, A, and you calculate this one, and you are done. So this is matrices form 4. I will show you the marking scheme. Matrices form 4. So you need to put the matrix times this one. You get this one. It will help you to draw p prime 1. So this one you multiply, you get to draw that. Then you follow the instructions, draw this one under reflection y plus x is equal to this one. So for y, oh, this is negative x. For y is equal to negative x, it changes. If xy, it changes like this. So you needed to just simply have changed these values like this, then draw this diagram. For these three, this is a transform under this matrix, so you need to multiply this matrix and get the image object, the image. Then you draw all of them like that. Thank you very much. You remember to share the video.